Hello, welcome back to my 1954 Milwaukee Braves replay. Today we are still in Philadelphia. Been a while since I played, so looking forward to get back into this. I'm using replay cards and dice and replay computer to help us out. So Milwaukee is 9-10 in their last, or 9-1 rather, in their last 10. So they are playing very well. This is Saturday, June the 26th. Last night, which was Friday, they beat the Phillies 10-8. On the mound for the Phillies will be Herm Weemeyer, and then on the mound for the Braves is Lou Burdette. So we are currently in first place, a game and a half ahead of the overperforming Cubs. Philadelphia comes in at 36-34, 5 games out. We are 40-28 overall, and so here we go. Leading off for the Braves will be Bill Bruton. He is hitting, as you can see there, .315. He's leading the National League with 21 stolen bases, so he's having a very good year. So that's a 5.62. So 5.62 will be a 5 on the 5 column. It should be a ground out to third. It's been a little while since I've played this game, so might take a little bit to get into the groove. But it is indeed a ground out to third base. So Willie Jones throws on to Torgerson for out number 1. So that brings up Johnny Logan. Is hitting .229. He has 6 home runs, 38 RBIs. That's a 4.15. 4.15. So that'll be a check of the shortstop. Bobby Morgan is a 3. That's a 14. So that should be an error check. He is a 32. So see if he can make the play. Gets a 2.65, so I believe he does, if I remember correctly. And he does. So good play by Bobby Morgan at shortstop here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Philadelphia. Eddie Matthews steps to the plate. He's hitting .250. He has 23 home runs on the year. It's good for third in the National League. And that's a 1.64. That will be a 48, which is a strikeout, I believe. It is. So Weemeyer retires the Braves in order in the first. So again, those not familiar with replay, you get a number from the batter card, a number from the pitcher card, add it up, and then you will go to this chart here to get the results, which is a trifold, which is very nicely done. So that's basically how you get the great majority of your results. Make sure I didn't mess up my screen too much there. Looks like I'm in decent shape. All right. So leading off for the Phillies will be third baseman Willie Jones, who's hitting .276. Lou Burdette comes into the game at 5-4 with a .263 ERA. That's a 4.46. 4.46. Look, that's going to be an error chance on O'Connell, who's a 51 at second base. Very good defender. So hopefully he can make this one without an error. And he does with a 4.35. So nice play by O'Connell to retire Jones for the first out in the bottom half of the first. Richie Ashburn, Hall of Fame center fielder, will step to the plate. He's hitting .305, 17 RBIs. That's a 6.56. That's a 31, a 35. And that's going to be a short fly out to left field. So Ashburn goes the other way. And Jim Pendleton, who's playing left field today for the injured rookie Hank Aaron, will put it away for out number 2. Earl Torgerson, hitting .285 with 5 home runs, 35 RBIs in the replay. Lefty versus the right-handed Burdette. That's a 5.65, 5.65. That's a 7, and that's going to be a walk. So Philadelphia with a 2-out base runner. And I'm doing the automated steal, so there's nothing going on there. So that will bring up Dalinas. He's hitting .226, so he's underperforming a bit. He does have 10 home runs and 46 RBIs. So here's Lou Burdette, righty versus righty. That's a 5.32, 5.32. That's a 41 in the 5 column. And looks like that's going to be a hit by pitch. So, Lou Burdette's a little wild here as he walks Torgerson and then plunks Dalinas. And that will bring Granny Hamner, second baseman for the Phillies, up. He's hitting .280, 6 home runs, 41 RBIs in the campaign so far. That's a 3-4-1. That's going to be a rare play chance, I believe. So looks like we need, so that's a 1. So that's actually a possible foul out. And here at Connie Mack Stadium, there is a lot of foul room. So 11-56 will be a foul out to the catcher. We get a 34. And
no runs, no hits, and 2 left on.
yeah, it's a foul out to the catcher. So Del Crandall will put it away in foul ground. And that'll do it for the Phillies in the first. So after 1 complete, we are scoreless. Joe Adcock will lead off for the Braves here in the top of the second. He's having a fantastic year. He did go 0 for 5 in yesterday's contest, but he's still hitting .328, 13 home runs, leading the team with 59 RBIs. That's a 6.32. That's going to be an 18, which is a deep fly to left field, but not deep enough. Dalinas will track that one down. Close to the warning track for out number 1. Andy Pafko, right fielder, in a bit of a slump this year, hitting .227, 3 home runs, 29 RBIs. He gets a 6.4 versus a right-handed pitcher. That's going to be an out. 6.41, that's 18, and that's going to be a deep fly to left field. But once again, not deep enough. So quickly 2 out on flyouts. That'll bring up Del Crandall. Had a home run in yesterday's game. He has 14 on the year, .226 average. That's a 2.44, 2.43, 7 on a 2, and that's going to be a foul out to the second baseman. So, for the second inning in a row, the Braves are retired in order. We go to the bottom of the second, still scoreless. Mel Clark getting the start for the Phillies in right field today. He's hitting a measly .211 with 8 RBIs. That's a 1.61, and that's going to be a 48, which is going to be a strikeout. 1.61. First strikeout of the day for Lou Burdette. 27-year-old right-handed pitcher. Stan Lopata will step to the plate. Philadelphia catchers hitting .279 with 6 home runs. That's a 4-2-5. 4-2-5. So that's going to be a check on the shortstop. We got an 18. Logan's 2. That's a 20. So it looks like that's going to be an umpire option. So that's a 4-2-5. So 1 and 6, he's safe. Anything else is an out. So that's a 4. So the umpire calls him out. Two away. Bobby Morgan, shortstop. Had a good game in yesterday's game. He's hitting .289, 7 homers, 36 RBIs. That's a 4-4-1. That'll be a defensive check on Adcock at first, who's a 4, which is not very good, but we rolled a 1, so that's a 5. And that's going to be an easy ground out.
It's a 1-2-3 inning.
So that's Adcock will take it to the bag himself. So the Phillies are retired in order. We go to the top of the third, still 0-0. Jim Pendleton, again playing left field for the injured Hank Aaron, will lead off. He's hitting just a .140 and 43 at bats. And that should, well, no, it's not. Normally 2-2 is a hit, but that's going to be a 3 and a 4. That's a 7. That should be a foul out to the second baseman. So Wimmeyer has retired the first 7 Milwaukee Brave batters he's faced. That brings up Danny O'Connell, who's hitting .315 for the year. That's a 5.52. 5.5. That's a 40 and a 43 in the 5 column. And that shit's going to be a walk. So the Braves get their first base runner.
1 out, man on first. The defense is playing in at the corners.
So Steve O'Neill, the Philadelphia manager, is going to bring in the corners. Lou Burdette, who is not a great hitter, is going to try to sacrifice. So that's a 4.
He's going to lay down a bunt.
We'll see the infield in. He gets a 5, and unfortunately that's going to be a fielder's choice. So that's a fielder's choice, 3-6. So not able to get the bunt down as Earl Torgerson fires it to Morgan at second for out number 2. That's a fielder's choice on a bunt by Burdette.
2 outs, man on first.
So the Braves have 2 outs with men on first. So Bill Bruton, who led off the game with a ground out to Willie Jones at third, gets a 4-4-2. So that's a defensive check of Hamner, who is a pretty good 2. That's a 5. So that should be a ground out. And it is.
No runs, no hits, and 1 left on. Bottom of the third.
So we go to the bottom of the third. Still no score. Herm Wiemeyer, the pitcher, will lead off here in the bottom half of the third. He's hitting .083 for the year. That's a 5.45. 5.425. That's a 30 in the 5 column. And looks like that's going to be a fly out to center field, if my calculations are correct. And it is. So harmless fly ball to Bill Bruton in center,
1 out, base is empty.
who is a very good 4 defender out there. So with 1 out, Willie Jones, who's 0 for 1, will step to the plate. That's a 2-1-2. That's a 39. That's a 43. And that's going to be a ground out to the pitcher with a possible error, or a possible injury, rather, because I'm not doing as played in this replay. And so he will be out the next game. So when they do their injuries like that, they don't start till the next game, which is a little odd, but it's functional. So he's out 1 to 3 for out number 2.
2 outs, base is empty.
That brings up Richie Ashburn. He flew out to Pendleton and left field his first at bat. He gets a 3-3-1. Usually, anytime you get doubles, it's a good thing. So that's a 5, 7 on a 3 column, and that's going to be a single. So 3-3-1. So that's a single the opposite way. So first base hit of the game, collected by Richie Ashburn. Let's see, that's a 3-3-0 doing on his stealing. So Earl Torgerson, who walked his first at bat, gets a 3-1-4. It's a 4 and a 7 on the 3 column, and that's going to be a single to left field. So it looks like we have an opportunity to go to third on the third base coach chart. We get a 24, and he's going to make it. So that'll put Richie Ashburn at third. Back-to-back hits for the Phillies.
Men on first and third.
And that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Del Enos. And looks like Torgerson does have a steal opportunity. It's a star. So either he makes it or he holds. So he gets a 34. So I think he's going to steal it. Oh, it's not higher. It has to be higher. That's right. So he holds.
2 outs, men on first and third.
All right, so here's Del Enos. He was hit by a pitch his last at bat. That's a 4-6-3. That's going to be a check on Matthews, who is a 2, and we had a 1, so that's a 3. So that should be a ground out. So 4-6-3. And Matthews makes the play.
No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left on.
No runs, 2 hits, 2 runners left on. After 3 complete, we are still 0-0.
Top of the 4th.
Johnny Logan will step to the plate. He grounded out to Bobby Morgan, his first at bat. That's a 6-3. It's a 31, a 34 in the 6 column. That should be a short fly to center field. Short fly to right field. Mel Clark will put it away for out number 1.
Base is empty.
Eddie Matthews, who was a strikeout victim, his first at bat. That's a 2-1-1. That's a 48. A 51 in the 2 column is going to be a ground ball back to the pitcher. Weemeyer throws on to Torgerson for the second out.
2 outs, base is empty.
Joe Adcock flew out to lead off the second, so he'll come up with 2 outs, nobody on. It's a 5-3-1, 4-7, and looks like that's going to be a walk. So just the second base runner for the Braves today. They have yet to collect a base hit. So Andy Pafko, he flew out to left field in his first at bat as well. That's a 5-5, 15, 19 on the 5 column, and that's going to be an infield single. And then we check the M chart, which is usually like wild pitches and things like that. So Pafko beats out the little dribbler, and that will give the Braves their first hit. And so we will check our M chart. We get a 5, which is going to be a wild pitch. Oh, a wild pitch check. So anything over a 2 is a wild pitch because that's his rating. Rolled a 3, so it is indeed a wild pitch. So that'll advance the runners for Dale Crandall.
2 outs, men on second and third.
Looking for a big clutch hit here. 2 outs. Runners on second and third. Oh, let me do my runners here. Second and third. That's a 1-6-3. That's going to be a strikeout.
No runs, 1 hit, and 2 left on.
So Dale Crandall not able to deliver.
Bottom of the fourth.
Leaves 2 runners on. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 0-0. 5, 6, and 7 due up for the Phillies. Crandall fouled out to Crandall. That's a 1-5-4. It's going to be a 7 on the 1 column as a pop out to the second baseman. Out number 1.
1 out, bases empty.
Mel Clark struck out his last at bat. Only strikeout today for Burdette. And that's a 6-2-6. So that's a 1. And no, that's a 5. Looks like that's going to be a triple down into the corner. Mel Clark will slide into third with a triple. I think the Braves are going to go ahead and play the infield back. Wiemeyer's not that great of a pitcher, so we ought to be able to get to him. So we're going to put the infield back. Don't want a big inning, so Stan Lapata grounded out his last at bat. That's a 5-1-4, 4-6. And unfortunately, that's going to be a walk. So Lou Burdette has a decent 5 column, but not able to overcome the walk that time. It's the second walk he's issued, along with 1 hit batter.
1 out, men on first and third.
So I think the Braves are going to be at halfway depth looking for the double play. Bobby Morgan, he grounded out to Adcock, his first at bat. Runners, oh, I got to do my runners. I keep forgetting. So first and third. That's a 4-4-6. 4-4. That should be good news. 6 is the second baseman. O'Connell's a 1. So I think that's going to be a double play. Oh, Bobby Morgan's going to bunt. So how about that? Steve O'Neill getting kind of crazy here in Philadelphia. That's a 7, and that's going to be a sacrifice. That's kind of an odd strategy with the pitcher due up, but I guess it worked out better than the double play would have. Unless they're going to try to pinch hit, but can't imagine them doing that. Wiemeyer's not that good of a pitcher or hitter, so but at any rate, 2 outs, second and third. That's a 3-4-5. That's going to be a rare play opportunity. So roll here. That's a 6, so that's going to be, as our Red Sox fan says, the infamous number to the pitcher. Dribbler to the mound. And he's a 2, and he beats it out. So how about that? So I guess Steve O'Neill comes out looking like a genius after all, as Wiemeyer beats out the infield single. Gets the RBI to help himself out.
2 outs, men on first and third.
That'll put runners on the corners with 2 outs for Willie Jones, who is 0 for 2. 2 ground outs. That's a 5-2-2. That's going to be a 46 in the 5 column. And that should be an action on the base paths. I think that's the M chart. Base action, all right. So chance for a wild pitch here. Could get worse. And actually, that's a pickoff chance. So anything under a 4, and he's picked off. Oh, he gets a 5. Not getting the rolls. So Wiemeyer's just barely misses being picked off. And Willie Jones will get a chance to hit again. And that's going to be a 2-2-1. So that's going to be a base hit, as 2-2 typically is. A single to right field. And they're going to hold Wiemeyer up at second, being that he is not that quick. And the Phillies are up 2-0. RBI for Willie Jones. We'll put runners on first and second. And Richie Ashburn, who is our 1 for 2 today. Lefty versus the right-handed Burdette. And that's a 5-2-2. That's a 6. And that's going to be a walk, but he has a raised number, so we'll see if he can avoid that. So anything over a 3 is a walk. And he gets a 5. So once again, not getting the rolls today. So that'll load up the bases for Earl Torgerson, who is walked and singled. Big at bat here. Lou Burdette needing this out. Keep the damage from being any worse than it is. That's a 4-4-6. 4 is 18. 6 is O'Connell at second. But I think that's going to be an error check. No, it's not. Yeah, and him being a 1 actually made it a ground out. So good defense by Danny O'Connell. Gets him out of the inning. But not before the Phillies plate 2. So that's 2 runs, 3 base hits, no errors. They left the bases loaded. So after 4 complete, the Phillies are up 2-0. So bottom of the lineup for the Braves. Jim Pendleton is fouled out to the second baseman. That's a 4-1, 3-4. Let's be a check on the shortstop. Morgan's a 3, but that's going to be a 4, so that's going to be an out. Nice play by Bobby Morgan for out number 1. Danny O'Connell, he walked and was erased on a fielder's choice, his first at bat. 2-5, that's a 16. A 20 on the 2 column is going to be a fly out to right field. Mel Clark will put it away as O'Connell went the other way, but not able to find any grass.
2 outs, base is empty.
That'll bring up Lou Burdette. He tried to sacrifice, but ended up hitting into a fielder's choice. And 6, that's a 6, and that's going to be a strikeout.
It's a 1-2-3 inning.
So Herm Wiemeyer is pitching like Cy Young today.
Bottom of the 5th.
Del Enos will lead off in the bottom of the 5th for the Phillies. He was the only Philly that didn't hit last inning. He's been hit by a pitch and grounded out. 6-4 versus the righty Burdette is a 16, a 20. And that's going to be a deep fly to right field. Chases Pafko back to the wall, but he will put it away for out number 1.
1 out, base is empty.
Hamner is 0 for 2. He's popped out twice. And that's a 1-1-6, so that's a 20-24 on the 1 column is going to be a line drive single plus a possible error. Pafko's error rating is not a very impressive 25, so and gets a 52, so he's going to making errors. He's not able to field it cleanly, and Hamner is into second with a base hit. So a single plus an E9.
One out, man on second.
So Hamner's on second. Mel Clark, who tripled to start off the festivities last inning and scored, will come to the right-handed batter's box. That's a 5-3, 5, and that's going to be another walk. The fourth today.
One out, men on first and second.
Blue Burdette is historically not wild, but he is today. As the Phillies have runners on first and second for Stan Lapata, who has walked and scored. He gets a 2-1, 2. That's a 54 in the 2 column. And that should be a ground out to second baseman. And the runners will advance. So a slow number to let's see, 2-1-2. That's actually to the catcher. Make sure I got this right. 22, 2-1. Okay. So that'll advance the runners. Crandall throws out Lapata, his fellow catcher, for out number 2. And that'll bring Bobby Morgan to the plate. So Morgan, so we probably are going to intentionally walk him and try to get to the pitcher. So that'll load the bases for Herm Wiemeyer, who
2 outs, bases loaded.
had an infield single his last at bat. It's a 4-5-5. It's a 17 to the shortstop. And that's 2. So a 19 is going to be a that should be an out if I read it right. So 4-5-5 should be a ground out. And it is.
No runs, 1 hit, 1 error, and 3 left on.
So the Phillies leave the bases loaded for the second inning in a row. However, this inning they did not score any. So we go to the top of the 6th.
Top of the 6th.
2-0 Philadelphia Phillies. So we have the top of the lineup. Bill Bruton will lead off. Bill is 0 for 2 today with 2 ground outs. That's a 5-6-1. So that's a 5. So that should be a ground out to third. And it is.
One out, bases empty.
Johnny Logan is 0 for 2. Will step to the plate. He gets a 4-2-5. 17. 5 is the shortstop. He's a 3. That's a 20. So that's going to be a umpire call. Oh, wait a minute. 4-2-5. 4-2 is a 17. 4-2. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Johnny Logan's card is wrong. He's actually a 19 in the computer. So that's going to be a single off the glove. It seemed like I mentioned that to the owner of the company, and I was he was going to look into it or something, because that's annoying that the cards don't match. And then, to my knowledge, Logan's the only one.
Man on first.
All right, so Eddie Matthews will step up with Logan on first base. He is 0 for 3 today. But obviously, Eddie Matthews is always a dangerous hitter. That's a 6-1. That's a 7-5. That's an 11. That's going to be a single with a home run possibility. So a 6, it's out of here. Anything else is a single, and he gets a 4. So that's a single. Logan will hold it second, looks like. And the Braves are threatening here in the top of the 6th. With runners on first and second. Joe Adcock, who has walked, will step up to the plate. He gets a 2-1. That's a 47. That's a 51 in the 2 column. That should be a ground ball to the pitcher, but should advance the runners. And it does. So little number, and all Weemeyer can do is throw out Adcock. So that'll put him on second and third. For Andy Pafko, who's 1 for 2. He gets, a 6-6-1. That's an 11. So that's going to be the possible home run if he gets a 6 on the blue die. And he does. How about that? So we haven't been getting rolls, but we got it that time. Andy Pafko takes it long, and the Braves are back in the lead. Home run number 4 for Andy Pafko on the year. So, again, he's been in a bit of a slump all year long, but he comes through big time here with a big 3-run bomb. Put the Braves back up 3-2. So 2 out, nobody on for Dale Crandall, who is 0 for 2. He gets a 6-5-3. It's a 31, a 34, and the 6. It's going to be a short fly to center field. And that'll do it.
3 runs, 3 hits, and none left on.
So the Braves get 3. The big 3-run home run by Andy Pafko. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 3-2 Milwaukee. So we'll see if Lou Burdette can hold on to this lead as he faces the top of the Philly lineup. Willie Jones is 1 for 3 with an RBI single back in the 4th. That's a 1-4-6. That's a 35, a 39 in the 1 column. And that's going to be a ground ball to first. He will underhand it to the pitcher. Adcock will to Burdette, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th. Richie Ashburn is singled and walked. He gets a 4-5-2. 4-5, it's a 39. The second baseman's a 1. That's a 40. Looks like that's a line out, if I'm reading it correctly. And it is. So it's a line out to O'Connell. He will make the play for the second out. Looks like Lou Burdette gets a boost to his fatigue rating. And with 2 outs, Earl Torgerson, who is singled and walked, grounded out. He gets a 3-2-2. And that's going to be a ballpark check, so I'll let the computer do that. 2-2. So it looks like anything over a 53 is a single. And that's a 43, so that's going to be a fly out to center field.
An easy inning to score. 1, 2, 3.
So Lou Burdette does a good job of hanging on to that 1-run lead.
Top of the 7th.
We go to the 7th inning. 3-2 Milwaukee. Jim Pendleton will lead off. He's 0 for 2. We got the bottom third of the lineup for Milwaukee. 5-2-3, 27, 30 in the 5 column. That's going to be a fly out to center field. 1 away. Danny O'Connell is walked and hit and flew out. He gets a 3-1-2. It's a 31, a 33 in the 3 column. It's going to be a line out to center field. Hits it hard, but right at Ashburn. For the second out.
2 outs, base is empty.
Burdette's 0 for 2. And he gets a 3-1-3, 30, or 3-1-5 rather. That's a 31 and a 35 in the 3 column. It looks like that's going to be a double. So if I read that right, 3-1-5. And that it is. So he goes the other way. Clark chases it down. And the 083 hitting Lou Burdette is in with a double.
2 outs, man on second.
So Bill Bruton, who's 0 for 3, we'll see if he can get Burdette home for that second run. That's a 3-5-2. That's a 3, a 5 in the 3 column, and that's going to be a short fly out to left field.
No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left on. Bottom of the 7th.
So, 7th inning stretch time. I'm trying to get the 7th inning to stretch to stop, and I guess I can't.
1 out, base is empty.
And so it looks like Del Enos was up and he flew out. And Granny Hamner will be up. All right. So with 1 out, Granny Hamner, he singled and reached second on an error. That's a 1-2-2. That's a 35, a 38 in the 1 column. It's going to be a ground ball to third base. Eddie Matthews will fire on to Adcock, and there's 2 away. Mel Clark has tripled, scored, walked, and struck out. So he's had an eventful day. That's a 2-4, 4-8 in the 2 column. Is a foul out to the third baseman. And that'll do it for the Phillies in the 7th. For the 2nd inning in a row, Lou Burdette has retired them in order. We go to the top of the 8th. Still 3-2 Milwaukee. Johnny Logan has singled and scored in 3 at-bats. And he gets a 1-5-1. And that's going to be popped out to third baseman on the infield. Willie Jones will wave everyone off, put it away. For the first out, Eddie Matthews is singled in 3 at-bats as well. And that's a 4-2-6. That's going to be a grounder to Hamner. And checking his defensive rating, he comes through for out number 2. Joe Adcock has walked in 3 plate appearances. He gets a 1-4-1. And that's going to be a strikeout. So the Braves go in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Braves still with a 1-run lead. Lou Burdette will face 7, 8, and 9 here in the bottom of the 8th. Stan Lapata, he has walked and scored. And he gets a 5-2-4. And that's a fly out to center field. Easy play for Bill Bruton. First out. Bobby Morgan has walked. He has a sacrifice bunt and grounded out to first. That's a 6-4-6, so that's going to be trouble. And that's going to be a double down into the corner over the head of Eddie Matthews. Jim Pendleton will fire it back in after chasing it down, and Morgan is into second with a stand-up double. So that brings up Wiemeyer. So we'll see if they let him hit or not. That's a 3-4-3 if he does. And they're actually going to bring in a pinch hitter, Danny Schnell, right-hander. Or Danny Shell, that is. So that'll be it for Wiemeyer today, as we have a runner on second. Get Danny Shell. He's right there on the top, so that worked out well. All right, so Danny Shell will step to the plate. Runner on second base. He gets a 6-1-3, which is a fly ball out to deep left field. Pendleton will get to the warning track, put it away for out number 2. So Shell hit it hard. He gave it a ride, but not far enough. And so that'll bring Willie Jones up to the plate. He is 1 for 4 with an RBI single. That's a 5-1-2. And that's going with the runner on. That's a walk. So walk number 6 today for Burdette, which is highly uncharacteristic. So Richie Ashburn with a chance here to put the Phillies back on top, or at least tie it. He is 1 for 3 with a walk. And that's a 3-2-4. It's going to be a ballpark check. Anything over a 42 is a single, and he gets a 51. So that's a single. And they're going to try to send Morgan home. So here is the roll. He gets a 9, and he's going to hold. So they decide not to send him home. And so that'll load the bases for Earl Torgerson. Big at bat here. Burdette seeing if he can hold on to this 1-run lead. Earl Torgerson seeing if he can make these fans here in Philadelphia happy. He's 1 for 3 with a walk. Oh, that's 1-1-4. It's not going to be good. That's a single. Possible error on O'Connell. He's a 51. So we'll see if he can make the play. And he gets a 64. Oh, no. So the normally shorthanded O'Connell fails on that one. So that will give the Phillies back the lead. So Jones will score from second. Ashburn will be at third. And Torgerson will go all the way to second. So he gets a single. They'll give him 1 RBI on that. And again, a big error on Danny O'Connell. They'll put the Phillies up 4-3. So Del Enos with a chance to do more damage here. They're going to hang with Burdette. That's a 6-3, so that should be a fly out. Deep fly to right field. Pafko makes it. But big inning for the Phillies there. And again, that costly error by Danny O'Connell at second. And so last chance here for the Braves in the top of the ninth to try to get the lead back. Looks like they're going to put Wiersteck into left. And they're going to bring in Steve Ridzik to see if he can close things out here for the Phillies. He is 3.63 ERA with a 2-1 record, 2 saves. And he will face Andy Pafko to start things off. Pafko had that big 3-run home run plus a single. And that's a 1-6-2, and that's going to be a strikeout. Del Crandall. Braves down to their last out, or last 2 outs. Crandall's 0 for 4 today, and that could be good. And that's going to be a double down into the corner. So down the line past Willie Jones and Crandall, who's not very quick, has plenty of time to get into second. So the tying run on second base for Jim Pendleton, who is 0 for 3 today. Here's the big pitch, and that's a 2-3-2. That's strikeout. So big strikeout there. It's up to Danny O'Connell. Last out here, runner on second base. And that's a 2-3-3. I don't think that's going to do it. Oh, actually, they're going to intentionally walk. Okay. So, again, you don't see the strategy that the manager is going to do until you put in the dice roll. So, all right. So that makes things interesting. All right. So obviously we will go to the bench, and we're going to go with Catfish Mekovich, who's hitting .333. He has 6 RBIs. So here we go. Big at bat here, top of the ninth. Phillies up by 1. And that's a 2-4-2, and that's not going to do it. Fly out to center field, so no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left on. So that will do it for the Braves. So they go down to defeat. Good game, but not a win. So, again, wanted to play some replay and get back to my 54 Braves replay. And so that will do it here in Philadelphia as Steve, let me see here. Herm Wimmeyer actually picks up the win to go 5-6. Lou Burdette takes the loss to go to 5-5. Steve Ridzik picks up save number 3. Oddly enough, they give the MVP to Andy Pafko, even though he was on the losing team. I'd say I'd have to give it to. I'd probably have to give it to Wiemeyer because he kept the Braves close enough. Other than that 3-run bomb to Pafko, that was really his only mistake. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and I appreciate it very much. I'll see you next time.